Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get it, man. Week 2. Firstly, let's just talk about week 1. 3-1 on Patreon, 4-1 on the money picks and YouTube. It's what I expect. Now, we all know this league isn't easy. We all know betting easy or everyone would do it. But I still am enjoying this after 4 or 5 years. And I love talking to you. I love getting on here every Friday night and seeing you guys. What's up, Brad? Yeah, man, it's good to have Friday. Good to have football back. Michael Rodriguez, money. Yeah, man, I'm ready to go. I think I solved the problem with my mic. I don't know if you noticed my mic was a little bit sketchy this week. I didn't realize it until too late. So I think we solved the problem, man. What's up, Hound? What's up, Johnny Guns? How about them boys, man? Yeah, Cowboys, interesting game this week with the 9.5, 8.5 is it at now? It's been fluctuating the whole week. Yeah, man, let's go, Eric. Let's go, O'Neal. I'm looking forward to it. Great to have football back. I'm going to get right into the Patreon questions. This is from Jared Holly. What's up, bro? Thoughts on my $300 two-team parlay? Giants money line, Denver money line. I like it. I can't really pick a hole in it because I truly believe the Giants win the game. But I do want to come in here and say something. I absolutely love the Broncos this week. As the week moves along, I am falling in love with the Broncos. And you're talking money line in that game. I expect the Broncos to win just based on home field advantage alone. I don't want to make it too simple. Did the Broncos play great versus the Raiders? Absolutely not. But did they play terrible? I didn't think they played terrible. I really like the Broncos to get the win there, and I do think they cover. I think they win by about a touchdown. Giants should win the game, man. But you are playing with fire there a little bit. We seen that line. Like when I picked it, it was -4. Then we saw that get up to like -6. It's back down to -4. Either way, you're going money line. Giants should take care of it. But the Cowboys really did suck the living hell, the soul out of the Giants last week. So going to Arizona is never an easy place. You should be able to hit it. I think the Giants are the weak link of the two, but I believe they'll win. I don't want to get over dramatic about it. What's up, Shannon Spicer? What's up, Jose? What's up, Brian Webb? Irvin, have you ever hit a 10-team parlay? No, and I honestly don't want to, because that would mean I am betting for coins. That means my bankroll is down to like $100. No, and I don't want to hit a 10-team parlay because that's the same as scratching the lotto ticket. Why do you guys think on all these commercials they always say parlays will give you this super boost? Why do you think when they do the commercials, they always lead with the parlay? You guys are smart. You guys know that that's how they make most of their money. Yeah, Johnny. I love Atlanta this week. As you saw on Patreon, Miami, I don't want to spoil it. You know how I feel about Miami. I believe we got that Miami at a better price than anyone. And I hope everyone got it at the price we got it at, firstly. That needs to be said because I got my sausage fingers typing that pretty damn quick as soon as I realized the price it was at earlier this week. Yeah, I love Miami. And honestly, I should like Atlanta. I've been going through that game in my head the whole day. Like, on one hand, I'm nervous about Desmond Ridder, and I think I'm right. that Arthur Smith and the Falcons organization is quote unquote hiding Ritter. And then there's a part of me that says Jordan Love's going to have someone in his face this game. I credit to Jordan Love going out there and doing what he did last week. We got to tip the fedora or whatever we want to tip. But at a certain point, wasn't that Bears game like a 7-on-7 drill? And was I exaggerating in the red zone? Remember that touchdown pass to Dobbs early in the game? Bears rushed 4, and he 6-7 seconds later, he goes back to his original first read and throws a strike. That's where I'm at. I think Atlanta will be able to get some pressure on him. That Atlanta defense sneakily got better this offseason. Sneakily. And one thing that I was saying, I liked Atlanta's offseason and I liked the Cowboys offseason. And I didn't hear much talk about either of those offseasons. So that's where I'm at. Joel Rocha, top 3 confident picks, Johnny boy. I mean, Miami's up there. I haven't really made my confidence level. If it's on Patreon, I'm betting it, and I'm betting it hard. You can throw the Broncos up there. And then the third one I'm still thinking of. The third one I'm still thinking of. I'll get back to you on that. And thank you for the super chat, my friend. Yeah, Carroll City. I've been to Carroll City, by the way. I'm nervous with Atlanta over the Packers, too. But you want to know who loses money? People who aren't nervous. People who think, oh, this is easy. Like, the other team has no chance. Like, I saw a comment earlier this week. Someone was mad. I picked a game and it was a money pick. Someone was mad that I said the other team had qualities. He said it was confusing. And in this league, in what we do betting, you have to respect the other team, and everyone's a damn NFL player, and we know how these games transpire. And plus, we know how important coaching is in this league. For instance, I don't know if any of you guys saw the tape of that Rams-Seahawks game last week. That was all coaching from the Rams. It was all coaching, and we got to give them credit. And so you should be nervous before you place a bet, because at the end of the day, these are 50-50 splits normally. And we have to find their 4 or 5 mistakes, and that's how we make money. That's how I look at it. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, you should be nervous. Johnny, I want to hammer the Texans too. It's weird how your book doesn't have that Houston lineup. That is quite odd. Yeah, I've been thinking Houston all week. The injury report was long and heavy, though. Although I think Tunsil plays. I am curious to see the Colts-Texans game. I'm not even trying to give anyone any fluff. I am very curious to see that game. Okay, let's get to the next Patreon question. This is from Prestige. Lawson, week 2, let's get this money. What's up, Prestige? What is your number 1 team this week, regardless of spread or money line? I'll type it to you. Or Broncos. Okay, I've said it for years. You need another tier for us high rollers for one-on-one consultation. I know there's a few of us that would greatly appreciate and benefit from it. I appreciate you writing that comment. I will think about it. I'm not trying to be like these swindlers who are charging like on Vegas Insider. I use Vegas Insider a lot. It's an absolutely brilliant site to track line patterns, to track the spreads and find the best price. It's a great website. All of you guys should use Vegas Insider. That's where I get the spreads from every week. But yeah, man, like they're always trying to push these old guys, the old whites, and they're always trying to push these guys, and they're charging like $105 a weekend, which, you know, I'm not going to do that. We always like to get money, but I'm not going to do that. But I would think about maybe creating another tier at like $20-25 a month. But yeah, let me think about it, because if there's a group of people, if there's like 10 of you, I'll do it. Thank you for the comment, Prestige. Nice to see you, my man. Canyon Wise, best 4-team 13-point teaser you can put together for the week. Well, either we're going to be crossing 0 a lot, so I'll do my best. Okay. You want my bet? You want the 4-team. Give me the Niners. We're going to lose value because we're going to cross 0. Give me the Broncos. Here we go. Yeah, give me the Panthers. That's going to be a tight game. And then, okay, we need one more. Then give me the Giants, because like you said, you're going to lose value because we're crossing 0. Actually, take away the Giants, push up the Seahawks. Seahawks are plus 4.5, plus 5. Now you add 13 to that. We're looking at 18 points. Like, I can't see the Seahawks losing by more than 2 touchdowns. So that's your 13-point teaser if you followed me. Nice to see you, Canyon, by the way. Always good to see you, my man. Okay, here we go. Peter Knox. I got the Cowboys at minus 3.5 before the line moved due to the Rodgers injury. Should I hold on to that ticket? Yes, you should, Pete. Yes, you should. Listen, I think the Jets can do something crazy on Sunday. But like I just used the word crazy, it would be crazy if the Cowboys don't win this game by 6 points, 7 points. It would be kind of crazy to me. And I respect the Jets. And it's what, like, I've been saying this before the season started. I do feel like there's something special about the Jets. I am getting the same sort of vibes I saw from my Vikings when they picked up Brett Favre and where they whipped the whole NFL. Now, obviously, they're not going to be as good with Zach Wilson, and it's going to be a problem. That's why I want to get off the Cowboys minus 3.5. I would keep the ticket, Pete. But yeah, we'll see what you do. Rajay Murray, what's up, Lawson? I've been following for, I think, 4 years. I believe it is. I went back and checked when I saw the comment. 4 years. I've been following for, I think, 4 years. I love this channel. I need your advice on Chargers minus 3 against the Titans. Thinking of putting 3 units on it. Okay, good. I wanted to talk about this game. I wanted to talk about this game because we're seeing a lot of movement where I got a super chat too. Appreciate it, Carol City. Appreciate it, my man. Nice to see you, bro. Okay, so here's where I'm at on this Chargers game. I'm not blinking on this. And I need to go on for a while about this question because this is something that involves us and what we do. Listen, there are people who are good at gambling who bet certain teams a lot. For instance, we do it with the 49ers. We were the 18% that bet them last week. 82% were on the Steelers. There is a group of people who are good at gambling who are betting the Titans. That's why that line's moving firstly, and that's why some people are scared. Listen, I told everyone this Dolphins team was going to ramshack this Chargers defense last week. And I was pretty damn confident about it. But I'm not going to get emotional on the Chargers. I think they come in and I think they roll into Tennessee and win the damn game. Would I put like 30% of my bankroll on it? No. I would make it a regular bet. I would make it a healthy bet. I wouldn't shy away from it. But the thing with the Titans that I'm not getting is I think people are just betting based on coaching. And I understand why. One reason why I like betting the Dolphins is because I like Vic Fangio. I like McDaniel, and I think he's going to dial up good plays, and I think they got the players to execute it. So you always look at coaching, and Brandon Staley isn't a guy you want to be in the foxhole with. Let's be honest. We all remember that fateful day last, January, when we were up 27 points, and we ended up losing that Jags-Chargers game. Is there anything we could have did better in that situation? Like, should I have just taken the Jags? That's where the Brandon Staley question comes into play. But the reason why I'm throwing that out is because I think the Chargers are better on all facets. Now, I said last week, the Chargers' weakness is in the spine of their defense. Defensive tackle, linebacker. They don't get a pass rush in that area. They're not able to stop the run in that area, and they're not able to do anything in that area. And I know Tennessee's going to run the ball, and I know Derrick Henry is really, really good. I don't think I am overstating when I say this Titans offensive line is one of the worst in the league, and I think they're honestly the worst in the league. And Mike Vrabel has even said as much. So I got respect for this Tennessee Titans defense. Their front seven, the interior of their defensive line can play with anyone. We know how good it is. I'm just not shying away from it. I am not shying away from it. Have I put the bet on it yet? No. I've been thinking about it an awful lot, but I'm not letting myself get shaken because I'm worried about Brandon Staley throwing away another damn game. Honestly, this Chargers moving down to -2.5 is tempting. It's tempting. I know they're trying to draw me in there, and they just might, because this Titans team isn't good. And this Titans team is in the middle of a damn rebuild. And I don't think we're going to be seeing Ryan Tannehill too much. I didn't want to go on like a 20-minute rant, but okay, here we go. Warren Flowers with the super chat. Appreciate it, Warren. Nice to see you. Great picture on YouTube. That lake looks absolutely marvelous. Hey there, Lawson. Made more money last week than ever had before. Money, money, money. I'm glad to hear it, man. I am really glad. I mean, we know how tough this is, and every single week one, we come out and just demolish everything, but it doesn't get old. Because we know how hard this is. And I saw a lot of people saying they lost money last week. Wasn't us. Sharps on New England. Okay, you know how many times I've bet against New England since Tom Brady left, and how many times I read that comment? I mean, come on, bro. Like, Sharps were on Dolphins last week. I mean, we can say that for any game. Yeah, Sharps like the Patriots. Or people who bet large sums of money like the Patriots. It doesn't mean anything is going to transpire. Think and walk through the game for yourself. It is Sunday night. I am a little bit worried it's Sunday night, but I'm still going to pull the trigger. Haven't seen a football reason why. I mean, the only concern is, are the Patriots going to get an interior pass rush on Tua? That's really my only concern. And I think this Dolphins defense is going to play a hell of a lot better. And I do think the Dolphins win the turnover battle. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. Gus, I don't bet Thursday night. So I had the Vikings to cover. I am taking no credit for that, and I simply want no credit for that. That's why I don't bet Thursday night. Did you guys see that game? My goodness, that game was ugly. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Next Patreon question. T1 the Great, let's get this money. Nice to see you, my man. Nice to see you. David Lai, Washington Commanders plus 3.5 straight up. I will not be betting that. Panther for life. Need a 5-game parlay, Lawson. Let's get this money. Hey, what's up, Panther for life? I don't really bet parlays. I'll post my games up, and then maybe you can make a parlay out of it. But yeah, man, I've gone through the math on parlays. They are not the greatest things to bet. And yeah, man, I've gone. Let's see what I do tonight. I might give you a teaser on Patreon. Yeah, man, I understand like the parlays are sexy and like I understand. It's just, if you're doing them for fun, then I have nothing against you. But if you're putting serious money in them, yeah, man. Bill, I do like the Bengals to bounce back. The injury situation for the Ravens is getting really bad. And can I say something? And I know the Ravens ended up winning comfortably against the Houston Texans. But that Ravens offense looked really, really off. Really off. Especially that first half. Lamar was throwing ducks all over the place. I like how Cincinnati's looking going into this game. And I understand the concern. No one likes laying a hook in a division game. And we know the Ravens are always dangerous. Anytime you have Lamar Jackson, your team is going to be dangerous. I just don't like this matchup for the Ravens. And, then we see Marlon Humphrey. He might be out of the game. Bro, this Ravens secondary is trash already. So I do worry about that. And I just can't see Burrow being bad again. Now, do I think we're going to get the Bengals that are in full rhythm and full flight like we saw a lot last year? No, I don't. But I think we're going to see a better Bengals performance. I mean, we called that right. I mean, we only tried to yell it from the mountains. It was going to be that way. But this is what I'm talking about, not getting emotional. Like, I'm not getting emotional about the Bengals. I understand if I was one of those people who bet the Bengals last week, I'd be stomping my feet. But you can't really let it get in your head if you bet them. What's up, Chris? What's up, Chris? Lawson, how come you don't talk about the games being totally fake and rigged? Listen, I got my issues with refs and the zebras. So, I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's like fixed or anything along those lines. But I do have problems with the officiating. And there are games and places that I'll stay away from in terms of a betting perspective. I don't think that necessarily means it's fake. But the week 1 officiating, I had no complaints. With our Raiders bet, we were sweating a little bit hot because we got some judgment calls against the Raiders that game. But other than that, all the bets and all the games I watched had pretty good officiating. The Titans-Saints game officiating was a big issue. But listen, as long I want them to call less shit. So I won't complain as long as they're throwing less flags. That's where I'm at. Okay. Uwezo Ross, what's up, man? Can you give a good player prop this week? Yeah. So I've been thinking of some player props this week. I came prepared. You want to know one I really like? And this isn't sexy. Give me Robert Woods from the Houston Texans over 35.5 receiving yards. He looked pretty good against the Ravens in the first game. Noah Brown's out for CJ Stroud. So CJ Stroud already has limited options to throw to. Robert Woods works in the slot. First person in CJ Stroud's eyesight when he gets up to throw it. I think the Texans are going to have to throw it. That Colts front seven is pretty good. So give me Robert Woods over 35.5. I don't know if that was the sexy one you were looking for, but that was one I liked. And then to think of one in the Dolphins game, I like. Give me a Mostert. No, he's a little bit banged up. When I think of the other one, I had another one in my head. I'll say it on air. But yeah, Robert Woods over 35.5, minus 110. Can't go wrong. And plus, that's a game not a lot of people are betting. Why not throw a little bit of money in that? Brian DePaul, what's up, Brian? I love the cat in your photo, by the way, on Patreon. Let's get this money, man. Bummer that Aaron the Game Rodgers did that way. Should we cash out of our division future bet yet and take the loss, or is there still a slim path to victory? I don't see the slim path to victory, unfortunately. I think gotta cash out and take the proverbial L. But yeah, man, that was really, really sad about Rodgers. I didn't like seeing that. And I didn't like seeing that at all. And listen, people get ACLs. This is the NFL. It's a tough game for tough people. But that one was really rough. And you could tell the team absolutely loves him. He's coming back next year. There are some people saying he's not coming back. I will bet $10,000 he comes back next year. That's how confident I am. Okay, Brad Borkowski. What's up, Brad? Some of you know John's going to tell you to stay away from those parlays. Yeah. My question is, you have a dud of the week, the game that we should stay away from because it's too hard to call. Yes, I do. Let me bring up the spreads because we haven't seen any crazy line movements that have shocked me. They just keep going back and forth. Okay. Guys, can I tell you, this Chiefs-Jags game, earlier in the week, I was like, okay, I'm thinking about betting it. Maybe I'll throw some money in the hat here. That's a game I want no part of. I just want no part of it. And another game I want no part of, and maybe this is me being timid. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. I want no part of this Browns-Steelers Monday night. I'm really excited about the Browns, and we put our money where our mouth was last week when they absolutely ramshackled the Bengals. But I'm a little bit nervous about this Browns-Steelers game. I do think Tomlin's team will have a response. I can't see Kenny Pickett being as bad. I'm not a big Kenny Pickett guy, but are they going to be that bad again? I don't think so. That's the game where I don't want anything to do with. Browns-Steelers Monday night. Yeah, so, okay, let's get to the next Patreon question. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. Let's get this money. DeAndre Pittman, what's up, DeAndre? Do you believe Bovada will pay a $30K win? I know who will play Super Bowl. History repeats. The jokes tell themselves. I don't think they'll pay you, no. I don't think they'll pay you. I mean, I don't know if you're referencing my video where Bovada closed my account, but I don't think they'll pay you. Especially in this day and age of a more competitive sports gambling industry, they'll find a way to close your account before you can even get that much money in play. They're going to shut you down, my man. They're going to shut you down. This is from Johnny Gonzalez. What's up, Johnny? What's up, Lawson? I'm going to do my best to tune into the show today. Was busy last week. There's a lot of interesting things I want to talk about with you. Yeah, man. We got to get you on, and we got to hear about the Cowboys. And before you leave, I am no Cowboy fan by any means. And I know the ESPN stuff with Stephen A coming on, complaining about the Cowboys is really, really old. But is it just me, or was Chris Collinsworth kind of bad-mouthing the Cowboys in that Giants game? Once the Cowboys got up 20 points, he started saying, Stephon Gilmore's so good, and saying his usual stuff. But I felt like he was honestly disrespectful to the Cowboy defensive line, because the Giants had one good drive before that field goal got blocked. I don't know, man. I made a post on Instagram about it. I just feel like Collinsworth is getting worse. And thank you, River Rat. Thank you, River Rat. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys too. Okay. Charles Kaiser, give me a good 2-team teaser that you like. Okay, we can do that. I will type it though. But there are some really good teasing options this week. One I really like to tease up. I don't know if you're looking for this, but normally 2 16 teasers, if you do 2 6-pointers, you can get that to a -110, -115 bet. So Panthers would be in there for me. And another one that would be in there, let's see. I would push the Seahawks up. So then you can get the Seahawks at 11.5. Then you get the Panthers at about 9. So you should be good on that. I think both of those games are going to be close. Did any of you guys catch the Seattle Lions line movement this week? When I picked the game on Tuesday, it was 6.5, right? I believe it was 6.5. And that game has been all over the place. Okay, here we go. Jay Sop, what's up? What up, J Law? One of my favorite plays of this week has been the over in the Lions game. Does Seattle missing their tackles concern you for the over? Thanks. Jay Sop, you read my mind. This was a money pick on the Wednesday over-under Vegas spreads video. It was a money pick then. I like it even more now. We did see Charles Cross was out of this game. And I don't like going to the past, but does everyone remember when both of these teams played week 2 last year, how this game turned into an absolute shootout? And for me, man, I think Seattle's going to have a response. I don't know about you guys, but I think Seattle's offense comes out and they play better. I know that's not saying an awful lot. What did they get, 14 points against the Rams? Maybe the worst defense in this league. I think the Seahawks come out and play better. I feel like this is the over of the week everyone needs to bet. Some people followed me on over-unders. It was lucrative last week. If you want to follow me on over-unders, pop this over in the Lions-Seahawks game. I mean, it's not quite like betting an over in a Chiefs game, but these Lions games tend to get out of control. And I am worried about the Seattle Seahawks defensive line. I am extremely worried when you can't get pressure at Matt Stafford and you can't win battles against the Rams offensive line. How much time is Jared Goff going to have? How much? I think there's going to be an absolute 6-7. It's going to turn into a 7-on-7 drill. And this Seattle secondary is good, but no one can win if it turns into a 7-on-7 drill. Look at Jordan Love last week. He looked like Aaron Rodgers 2.0 when the game turned into a 7-on-7 drill. Okay, here we go. Pringle, nice to see you, man. I haven't seen you since last season. Nice to see you, my man. For me, man, I don't want people getting too boisterous about the Jets. But I do think that 8.5, 9.5 is pretty nice, especially with the way that defense is playing. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Still going through the Patreon questions. Okay, did I miss another super chat? God damn it. Zamora, survivor pick, 49ers, also New York Jets money line. Yeah, this kind of goes into what I said before, Zamora. Like, I know you're feeling yourself right now. I know we just had an absolute colossal, an absolute colossus of a week one, but come on now. It could happen. I wouldn't rule anything out with the Cowboys, and I wouldn't rule anything out with this Jets defense. But come on, there's other meat for you to pick through this week. But 49ers for the survivor pick, yeah. And I did see someone had a question about maybe the 49ers to cover. I like the 49ers to cover. I know 8 is an awful lot when you're going on the road in this league, but can we all be honest? That is going to be a pretty much a home game for the 49ers. We got a lot of people from California here. They can walk you through that. I love the 49ers with the spread, and I like them on the survivor. I have the Bills in the survivor league I'm in, which obviously is a little bit risky. Hey, Brandon Peralta, super chat. Thank you, my friend. Hey, Lawson, do you like the over in Lions Hawks? Yeah. It was a money pick on Wednesday's over under video, and I walked through it just now why I think it's an over. But listen, I think Geno's going to respond, and I know Aiden Hutchinson has a damn good pass rush. Seahawks tackles are out of the game, but at the end of the day, man, you got to cover in this league, and I still don't think this Detroit defense is where we need it to be. I do think they win the NFC North, but I think Seattle's going to be able to put up points here. On the other side, man, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on this Seattle defensive line. I don't think they're going to be able to get any pressure. I think the Lions will be able to run the ball, throw the ball, Lions with the play action all day. Listen, one of these teams is getting a 30. I'm pretty sure the Lions are getting a 30. And if one team gets the 30, this is going to go over. Zona. Anyone feeling good about Zona this week? I mean, we were some of the few people on the internet who thought they would cover last week. I guess so, credit to us. Dom Parrish, you think Rodgers' football career is done? No, he's coming back. He is coming back, Dom. I'm pretty damn confident about it. Really damn confident about it. Lawson Hardgrove. My Saints had 3 interceptions and 1 fumble recovery, yet only scored 16 points. Yeah, I actually watched that game on Monday morning. It was ugly. With Kamara and Kendry Miller out, the Saints have no running game. Can a one-dimensional Saints team still cover the 3 points against Bryce Young and the Panthers? Thanks, no. I changed my pick on the upsets to bet show, Lawton. I think the Panthers will win. And if you look at the Panthers-Falcons game, the Panthers actually played a pretty good game. They just made mistakes in critical times. And you know what that will do to you in this league. So when I'm looking at this game, man, I think the Saints lose the trench battle. I think the Panthers will be able to run the ball, and I think the Panthers front 7 will stop the Saints run, like you said. And I understand the Saints have way better skill position players. Olave, Michael Thomas, good tight end. And I'm excited about Carr with the Saints. But I am not excited about the Saints offensive line. I think the home field advantage will help the Panthers. I think they come out and play a damn good game. With Bryce Young, he was a bit up and down in week 1. The Panthers just don't have enough targets, but I think they will be able to run the ball. I really feel like the Panthers will be able to generate a little bit of offense. And I see this being like a 21-17 win for the Panthers. Jason Chappell, are we really buying that Baker is that bad a quarterback? He was reading calls last week. I mean, it was against the Minnesota Vikings defense, Jason. The guy learned the playbook on a 6-hour flight last year. His line is bad, but he has weapons. Yeah, I mean, that is the one thing to never underestimate. Guys like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are absolute dogs, and they can change games even without good quarterback play. No, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying completely. I'm just not a big Baker Mayfield fan. Are you, Jason? Are you trying to get us to bet the Bucs against the Bears? I really wish I had the cojones to take the Bears this game, but I don't. But yeah, Baker had a good second half against the Vikings. The first half was not too good. It left a lot of opportunities on the table, but second half was better. Thank you for the questions. This is from Derek. Hey, John. Hope all's well with you and you had a great 2023 so far. Oh, thank you, Derek. What 2 games give you the most anxiety on this 7-point teaser? Cincy +4, like it. Chargers +4, like it. Detroit +2.5. Giants +3. Dallas -2. Giants and Detroit. Giants and Detroit give me a little bit of anxiety on that teaser. And also, do you know why the Lions line keeps dropping and is now down to -4.5? I figured this line would be 7+. For me, man, I think a lot of people think that Geno Smith is going to be an above average quarterback for sure this year. And they are looking back at what the Lions defense was last year. So I think there was some big money coming on the Hawks. And honestly, like I felt like 6.5, 7 was a bit too much. But I was surprised to see this work all the way down to 4. I saw it at 4 on some books today. Like you said, man, I do worry about Detroit in this game. Even though I love Detroit, I love what they're building. I think they match up great offensively against the Seattle defense. One thing Seattle has is firepower at the skill position. So I think that's what's scaring some people. And last year, Seattle won the game, but listen, this is different teams. Detroit's defense is better, but how much better did they get? And I think some people are thinking that game against the Rams was just the Rams out-coaching the Seahawks, not the Seahawks being shit, which I don't know how you make those two conclusions. You never want to be out-coached in this league, and the Rams simply aren't a good team. Marcy, make it a damn money pick. Thank you, Marcy. I appreciate everyone's support on Patreon. Question from Ray Rouse. What's up, Ray? Why all the hype on Justin Herbert as a top-tier quarterback? Yes, he can ball, but he doesn't win in big games. He does go to battle with Staley. Not all on Staley because Herbert could audible out of bad plays. Isn't there value in fading charges with all the public sentiment on Herbert? Yeah, but didn't we do that last week? I mean, for me, man, one of the things that led me to betting Miami last week was coaching, was Brandon fucking Staley. But I am trying to, because I think it's a fair point. And I do think some people, especially in the media, they feel like Herbert is a more explosive player than he actually is. He's got one of the lowest yards per pass in this league last year. So, I think that's like a fucking strong comment. But I'm looking at Tennessee this week. And I am looking at a quarterback named Ryan Tannehill who threw 3 of the most pitiful interceptions I've ever seen. So, I think if we take Herbert out of this, The reason why some money and why this game is dangerous is because Mike Vrabel can outcoach Brandon Staley. But I do agree with you. Justin Herbert is a little bit overrated. I do think he is, man. I don't think you're off there at all. And did you see how he took those sacks near the end of the game? Once Fangio started changing a little bit of stuff up, he crumbled. But it starts with the head fucking coach, though. I don't like this Brandon Staley, man. I don't like him. I don't like him. We made the perfect bet last year, and I'm not getting over it. And if you look at our transactions against the Chargers and Brandon Staley since he became head coach, we're up on that, man. We're up on that. But even last year, he fucked around against the Titans. We got Chargers -2 at home out west against the Titans, and this motherfucker was still trying to fuck it up on us. Made me damn near have a heart attack to get my money out of that game. So I don't like Brandon Staley, man. I don't like it. And I don't know how Brandon Staley, as a defensive coach, plays man to fucking man against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Sure, it helped us. But in what world do you want to go man to man? I heard Chuck Pagano on the Pat McAfee show this week say, listen, if I was playing press man-to-man on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, my corners would go tell me to go shove it. And I'm surprised these Chargers players didn't do it. Anyways, Ray, good question, man. I kind of agree with all the sentiments. It's just I'm not going to give Brandon Staley much of a break, because that's really the only way the Chargers don't cover this game against the Titans, with the way the Titans are currently constructed. Brandon Peralta, super chat. I'm going to come to Brazil. We'll grab a few drinks. I would like that. I live in a place where we only have 11 days of rain a year about. I mean, it might rain for like 5 minutes at night, but yeah, it's always sunny here. Very, very nice. Would be nice to see you. Exchange rate is pretty good, 5-1. Jonathan Yim, best gambling show ever. Do you have a couple suicide picks this week? I would go 49ers, Bills. Those would be my two, Jonathan. I hope that helps. Alan Corrales. What's up, Alan? Which one is more likely to cover? Raiders +9 or Jets +9? Jets. Although I'm going Jets. I'm not backing down from that. But can I throw in a little bit of a caveat? I feel like the Ravens have a little bit of a blueprint. I mean, the Raiders have the blueprint to beat this Buffalo defense. What do you want to do against the Buffalo defense? Just think to yourself right now. I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to get 2 tight ends on the field. I want to run it down their throat, and I want to challenge these small linebackers. They let Tremaine Edmonds go. They bring in like this rookie from Baylor. He's like 6 foot, 200 pounds. Matt Milano's good in the middle, but he's not big. I feel like you can pound him. You can push him back. You can enforce your energy, your physicality, and will on them and keep pushing them back. And when you're running the ball down their damn throat, Josh Allen and that powerful offense stays on the bench. And if there's any team that has a power run in this league, it's the Raiders. I'm still going Jets, but I like the way you're thinking, and I did find it a little bit of strange. I don't like judging my bets based on, public's betting this team, public's not betting this game. I don't do that. But I did look, and I posted on Instagram this week. I did find it a little bit weird. 91% of the bets were on Bills -9.5. Didn't make much sense to me, especially given the football reasons behind the Raiders possibly being able to cover. Brian, okay, let me get to that. Thank you guys for the super chats. You guys are very generous today. I really appreciate it. Rogue Energy, best gambling show on the internet. I appreciate it. I appreciate that username as well. I don't know if you guys noticed, like, I have a really good photographic memory. Like, I can remember spreads from last year. Like, for instance, week 2 Seahawks over under was 49.5. I can remember lines from years ago. And you remember when YouTube did that little change and it seemed like everyone lost their username. So I'm trying to remember who everyone is. I like this Rogue Energy. I'm not going to forget that username. Thank you for the $10, my friend. Brian Webb, let's get this money. Hey, Lawson, what do you think about KC and Jags? The over-under on the Bengals? Okay, I got to slow down. What do you think about KC and Jags? Also, the over-under on the Bengals-Baltimore, and you think Cardinals is over? Okay, I'm going to give you firstly, I'll start with Bengals-Baltimore. I like this under all week. Now, was it a money pick on the show on Wednesday? No. But I do like the under here, and I'll tell you why. I think Burrow and them boys are going to find a little bit of rhythm. They're going to make some big plays, but I don't think this is going to be Bengals at full splong, just dabbing on the Ravens defense. I do think this Ravens defense has secondary issues. I do think the Bengals offensive line will be able to block them, but still, let's give respect to this Ravens defense. They're going to come in, they're going to fight. But the main reason why I like under in this Ravens-Bengals game is because I felt like that Ravens offense looked terrible last week against a pretty decent Texans defense, but in the second half, they were able to get stuff going, but we didn't even see OBJ get a catch. Lamar Jackson was absolutely inaccurate. He honestly, that first half, the Ravens offense looked about as bad as I've ever seen. And the Texans had opportunities to possibly steal that game. And the Cardinals game, I didn't have too big an opinion about the over-under on the Cardinals game. Let me just go look that up real quick. That wasn't one I was like, okay, I'm going to fire this, because I would have remembered if it was a money pick. 39.5, I'm going over, but I would not bet that. And with the Chiefs-Jags, it seems as if Kelsey and Chris Jones are going to play. That's what it seems like, right? So I don't like it moving to 3.5. That's why I'm staying away from it. When it was Chiefs -3, I had no problem someone wanting to bet that. We love the Jags. We respect the Jags. I'm just not excited about betting that game. I think there's other things we can take advantage of. Thank you for the super chat, Brian Webb. Okay, here we go. Kind of actually ran out of breath. Nick Basie. Hey, Lawson, favorite picks for anytime touchdowns this week? Bijan Robinson. Give me maybe a sneaky Javonte Williams for the Broncos. Played pretty good last week against the Raiders. Give me Pierce for the Texans. And let's get one in here. Let's get a Jamar Chase from the Bengals for good old times. And like I said, one of the props I liked was Robert Woods over 35.5 receiving yards. I like that one. Stroud utilized him in that first game against the Ravens. I like that prop. Those anytime touchdowns ones, the one I probably like the most is Pierce from the Texans. But yeah, man, that's where I'm at. If I think of another one, I'll write it to you on Patreon. Okay, Michael Killings. Do you have any bets for anytime touchdown score? And thank you for the super chat, Mike. And thank you for anyone who sent super chats. We can bet this in AZ. In Nevada, you can only bet first, last. I don't know about any other states. Okay, can someone walk me through that? Okay, let me just try to understand what Mike was asking. He used proper English. But, okay, do you have any bets for anytime touchdown score? We can bet this in Arizona. In Nevada, you can only bet first, last. Oh, that's a scam. That's a scam. Doesn't that kind of just, is it just me, or is that like a paradox or an oxymoron? Like, okay, anytime touchdown score, but you can only bet the first and the last? Then you got to go Jamar Chase and try to get good odds with that. But that's a scam, man. Can someone walk me through this? Mike, I don't like talking about sports books on here too much, but please go get yourself an offshore book. Your boy has been betting for 15 years, and New York legalized it like a year and a half, 2 years ago. That's junk. That's junk. And it's not your fault. They're just making those regulations. That's insane. Jamar Chase done. Because I've seen so many Bengals games start with a fade to Jamar Chase. Or him, or the Bengals at the 30-yard line. Thank you. The Bengals at the 30-yard line, and he breaks a slant for 30 yards. Listen, I didn't mean to make, man. Anyways, so that's, I also like Pierce on the Texans. It's just the first and last is just bull jive. Isn't that Shannon Sharp's word? Prestige. Thank you for the super chat, Prestige. $10. How would you spread 5K around this week? I'm loving San Francisco money line and Chargers -2.5. Okay. On those two games, you would assume, correct? Now, firstly, everyone just bet responsibly. Obviously, with that 5K, a good portion of that is going to have to go on the San Fran game. So I would probably go like, if you're giving me that, I don't know. I'm not a big like -350 guy, 380 guy. I'll tell you what is that, -380? Let me look at it. Because if it's anything like -450, I'm going to advise you not to do that. But let me see. Okay, it's -350. That's what I thought. Okay, so you probably have to go 4 on one and then 1 on the spread one. But yeah, be careful with that. Be very, very careful with that, because anything can happen in this fucking league. Anything. And any San Francisco game, we know another quarterback can be in there. I mean, San Fran should win the damn game. They should win the damn game. But yeah, just be careful with that. I do like the Chargers now. That's -2.5. I do like it. I do like it, man. I only have the Pepsi Black. They only sell Pepsi Black in Brazil. It's good, man. It's good. The Diet Coke here is not too good. Yeah. Well, I just don't. Nah, bro, we're betting our rent. It's rags or riches. Yeah, man. I mean, but that puts a lot of pressure on me in particular, because like I actually have a fucking conscience. So, and I can't be worried about other people's finances when I'm trying to find bets. So, because we have to be ruthless, unfortunately. It's just, I don't like seeing people struggle. Okay, Michael, man, I still haven't got through Patreon questions. Appreciate the super chat. I'll try to get you on soon. Haven't got through Patreon questions. Okay, here we go. Big Rob. Hey, Lawson, are you still taking the Chargers at -3 with Austin Eckler doubtful? Big Rob, you will find out tonight. My bad. I don't want to give it away. That could be, you'll know when I put that up tonight. Been thinking about it all day. Eckler doubtful is a bit of a problem though. Steve Terry, Lawson, you think Tyreek Hill is the proverbial player prop betting his over yardage? Yeah. He might be the best player in the fucking league. I mean, you won't hear many other people saying that, but I've been pretty much saying as much. Him and Justin Jefferson, they didn't even get considered for the MVP talk last year. Didn't even get considered, but they should have. So I do like it, but obviously they're going to keep raising it. But I think he has a huge game against the Patriots. Waddle's dealing with a bit of an oblique, so Tyreek Hill could see even more service from Tua. Okay, and another one from Steve Terry on Patreon. Do you think the Cowboys are being overvalued at -9.5 spread over the Jets? I like Dak to throw a pick this week. I know I do think the Cowboys are being overvalued because, listen, I could see the Cowboys easily winning this by a touchdown. They could win it easily, and Zach Wilson's bad. So I understand what we're dealing with, how that's going to transpire, but that Jets defense is good, man, and that Jets team isn't going to lay down, and I feel like when you look at the Giants game, the Cowboys didn't even get that good a test. So, yeah, man, I feel like the Cowboys are being a little bit overvalued. If I set that spread, it would be Cowboys -7. If I set it. I think they win by a touchdown. So I think there's value there. And then you guys saw with the Vikings game, when it's on 6, when it's on 7, you can get that late garbage times backdoor cover. Yeah, pretty much this, man. Pretty much this. Like, it's one of the reasons why I moved to Brazil is because housing is an issue. And if you want to live anywhere that's not snowing, or if you don't want to live in a trailer park, you're pretty much going to have to pay like $1,600, $1,800 a month to live in a box. And that's not the lifestyle I was brought up in, and it's not something I like doing. And plus, when you look at buying a house in the United States right now, if you don't have a house right now, you're going to face an uphill challenge. And then you have financial companies, BlackRock, buying houses. You can go on Twitter and you'll see these doctors in the United States, young doctors our age, 30, maybe even 40. They're complaining they can't buy a house. They go to buy a house, it's like $500K, and then it turns into a bidding war. Then it's sold for $700K. Yeah, man. So, and plus have a wife here. So yeah, man. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Okay. Let's get to, I think we have a few more Patreon questions, then we'll get guests on. Or I know my guest had to go places. Stephen Conder, love your energy, brother. Thanks for everything. Appreciate it, man. Cliff Marson, just joined because John's energy is electric. Just love it. Thank you, Cliff. I appreciate it, my man. Okay. Okay, here we go. Jesus. Patreon can be clunky at times. Khalil, what's your favorite player prop? I like Robert Woods over 35.5 receiving yards this week. I mean, it's a little bit out there, but I think it's really low, and he was getting open. Stroud was looking for him. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I missed anything. Okay. Gabriel Hammer, let's get it, Lawson. Survivor question. I have 3 picks. Last week, I used all 3 and burned Baltimore. I don't trust those guys. I also don't trust Dallas, but I trust the MILF Hunter, Zach Wilson, to struggle against Dallas. Should I save Dallas, use all 3 picks on Dallas? What do you think? I would use the 49ers. I understand wanting to save Dallas, but remember last year when Dallas got blown out by Chicago? They're a ticking time bomb. I don't trust Zach Wilson either. Like I said, I think you should be safe with Dallas, but I would probably put it on the 49ers. I think this is looking pretty good for the 49ers this week. Kingdom, hey, bro, so you think Pollard will have 100 yards against the Jets run defense? No, I don't. And I think this Jets defense, I actually feel like their defensive line is just as good against the run as they are against the pass. The Bills will be able to run it or able to find running lanes because when you face the Bills, you have to worry so much about the pass. I think the Jets defensive line can control this game. It looks like when you have Zach Martin and Tyron Smith, you're always going to be able to run it a little bit. It's just, yeah, man, I wouldn't bet him to go over 100. Okay, here we go. Okay, I gotta go get a glass of water. I gotta go use the bathroom. I'll be right back in 5 minutes. It's just a 5-minute break. I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, share the videos. Be right back in 5. Oh. Okay, we're back. 218 people waited. Yeah, man. And I saw a question on Patreon. Sorry, I forgot who it was. They were asking about, okay, let me just get to it. Nick, I like the Bengals -3. I know it's at -120, but I hope that doesn't dissuade anyone. I like Ravens are in a bad situation right now. I know some people are going to just take the Ravens to be contrarian, but that's where I'm at. I do like the 49ers. And thank you for the question on Patreon. What's up, Lawson? What's your thought on the big spread on the 49ers game? I think they can win easily with 2 scores. They have the Rams number for a while. I agree. And I want everyone to remember Seahawks were poorly coached in that Sunday game. Now, we got to give credit to Sean McVay. We got to give credit to Matt Stafford. Stafford was absolutely lethal, but we know what's going to happen this game. Matt Stafford is going to get hit, and there is not a more vulnerable quarterback in this league. And I don't say that lightly. I want to see Matt Stafford slang that thing sidearm the whole damn year, but we know that's not going to happen with that offensive line. Let's be realistic about it. I think the 49ers covered the damn spread. You guys know I do not like betting big spreads like that. Normally, I'm a guy, I take the points. Not in this game. I think the 49ers destroy them. And I think we were just about the only people on the internet who were right about the 49ers last week, and I'm sticking with it. It's a lot of points, but better beware. I'm still sticking with them. Christian, I got the Chargers -3, Bears under 41, Hawks over 47, Dolphins -3. Listen, I want to just advise everyone. J-Sup asked us earlier. He's very good with the over-unders. We have some really good people with the over-unders. I have the Seahawks Lions as a money pick for the over 47, and he has it as a money pick as well. I like that one. Bears, Tampa Bay, I'm not fucking touching anything in that game. Kingdom says also Raiders +8.5 in Detroit money line. I mean, Detroit money line, I don't think we need to go there, man. I'm the biggest Detroit guy there is. Last year, we made an absolute millions and millions, not millions, but we made thousands of dollars because of that big man, Dan Campbell, and Detroit covering. Yeah, man, I'm not going with that money line this game. If you bet that, they will probably win it. I think that game's going to be close. I think Seattle plays better this week. I think it's going to be a really fucking good game of football, actually. More excited to watch that one as a fan. If you really need a play in that Lions-Hawks game, go the under. Go the over. I believe it's 47.5, 47. Yeah, man. Here we go. Well, Jared, yeah, I know to his one head injury from being put away, but, that didn't stop us last week. Chargers didn't even touch him. No Teron Armstead. Chargers didn't even breathe on him, man. And that was such a beautiful game of football from Tua and that Miami offense. We'll see what your Bucs do this week, Jared. I'm excited to watch that Bucs-Bears game. I'll be watching that Monday morning. Excited to see what transpires there. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. Yeah, man. And I don't think Purdy gets enough credit. And I really got sick of a lot of the stuff I was hearing about the Steelers. Got really sick of it, man. And I felt like it was too much. I didn't agree with most of it. So that's where I'm at, man. All right. Okay. Let's see. I think I still have more Patreon questions. You guys went hard on Patreon with the questions. Appreciate you guys. Good questions, man. Let me get to it. Kevin Chaplin. What's the best site to use where gambling is still illegal? Okay, I'm not going into that, but I'll write you something. Okay, I use Pinnacle. Yeah, I don't know how you knew I used Pinnacle, Kevin, but it's very, very good. It's very, very good. And they treat me like a man. So I know if I make a lot of money, I'm not Going to Michael, man, you ready to come on? You want to come on with Lauren? Okay, Michael Rodriguez, do you trust the Saints on Monday? No, I don't. That's why I want to get Michael Mann on for him to go on about that game. Patreon bets will be up. Give me like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Still some things I have to look through. Absolutely gigantic injury reports. Packers got some injuries I'm watching. Chargers have a few I'm watching. I mean, Ravens have a laundry list. The Texans have a laundry list. I really like that Texans game, guys. So yeah, okay, let me get your emails. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay, here we go. I think Johnny Gonzalez had to go. Not sure about that. Okay, invite, copy. Okay, here we go. Okay, fucking A, man. Okay, here we go. God damn. Okay. Yeah, my bad for the silence. Okay, let's see if this is the right email for Lauren. Okay, I believe this is her right email. Okay, yo. Okay, let's see. And I will be posting a teaser on Patreon. I know some of you wanted that. Your boy will come through. We were pretty good on them last year, even with all the crazy stuff that transpired. The problem with teasers last year was, firstly, a lot of teams, there would be like 3 teams a week. Let's say there's 30 teams playing. There would be 4 or 5 teams a week who just didn't show up. Like, what's an example last week? Like the Seahawks. We would get 3 or 4 teams a week not even showing up. Like, listen, my Vikings were trash last night against the Eagles, but at least they showed up a little bit, 4 turnovers, but at least they showed up. Jarrett, I didn't know that. I did not know that, Jarrett. I did not know that one bit. Yeah, I sent the email. So, Fredo 702 Lawson, am I getting greedy taking the Raiders money line? I really like them to upset the Bills. No, but I would just caution you to say, listen, it is in Buffalo. I'm not saying Raiders didn't get the calls last week. They were one of them and the Titans were the teams really who were affected by officiating. Some of it was their fault. Some of it wasn't, especially the Titans. You just always look at that. And the problem with the Raiders, I don't like looking at these like trends. Okay. But one problem with the Raiders is, when they go west to east, even when they were good with like Gannon and they had Brown and all them with Gruden, they would sometimes lay an egg in these 10 a.m. West Coast games when they're traveling. So that's where I'm at, man. Yeah, man. I mean, they covered. Wasn't pretty though. Wasn't pretty. Wasn't how I drew it up. Yeah, Stevie. I don't even like going to Bills games. When I visit my parents, I went to probably 20 Bills games in my life. I'm not going back there, especially now they're good. Too many stories. I'll go into it on Instagram one day.
Hey, Can you hear me all right?
Yo, I'm here.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you. Great.
Good. Yeah, man, we can wait for Lauren to get on before we start talking about this game. But yeah, I'm telling you, I was surprised and shocked that you changed your pick to the Panthers. I did not expect you to do that.
I watched the Saints game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's hard for me to watch every game before like the Tuesday show. I try to, but it's kind of impossible. But yeah, man, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm not betting it or anything, but
yeah, I want to wait till Lauren gets on to really start breaking that game down. But I'll tell you what, man, I was not impressed with how the Saints could not dominate the Titans in the trenches like I expected them to.
Well, you weren't wrong about the ref ball either.
Yeah,
I mean,
they got so lucky with that. Oh my God!
I mean, the Zebras had a pretty good week. It's just, they didn't do good.
That was ridiculous. That fumble. I don't know if you saw that fumble. That wasn't. But if the Titans had gotten that back, they would have won that game easily.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And and I just don't like them taking points off the board. And I really don't like, the whistle excuse. That's one of the oldest in the book, and it really bothers me.
Yeah.
Lauren, what's up?
There she is.
Are you talking about me?
No, not yet.
We're talking about the Saints-Panthers.
Yeah. Tell us.
I'm just in time.
Oh, I know. Big game. Monday Night Football +3 Panthers. Got to pick.
Can somebody tell me why that game, why it's not a West Coast game and an East Coast game on Monday night?
Oh.
I was wondering the same thing.
Right?
I'm just glad we got the early slate so I can go to bed before midnight.
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy we got that one.
That's true. Oh.
Crap over with.
So, I mean, this is a divisional game, and I don't know how many times I've had to say this. You don't play your own team. It's just there's too much bad quan with all that. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Do I think we're going to win? Do I think we have a more talented team? Yeah. Not saying I'm a homer, but I definitely think we have a more talented team just because just talent-wise. I mean, I think J.C. Horn's gone. He's out. That would have been huh?
He's not playing.
Yeah. That's a big deal.
Well, here's what I'll say. And I think Lawson will agree with me on this. For one, I think a lot of people are reacting very negatively to the Falcons loss and what transpired in that game, seeing the final score, seeing how poor the Panthers passing attack was, and just, freaking out about it. And I'm here to tell you, take that film and just throw it out. Because we knew that was going to happen. Any Panthers,
we talked about that. We talked about how good the Falcons are at home.
Watch last week's show. I literally called how that game was going to go. And nothing surprised me in that game at all. But now we go home to Carolina. We're playing the Saints on Monday night. We haven't played on Monday night in 5 years, so this is the first real Monday night game for anybody. And Panthers Saints is a legit rivalry in the NFL. I don't know I'm honestly shocked they put this game on Monday night because there's going to be 5 fights at least. So Brace, how that goes. For that Panthers,
and the thing is, we've all got to stay afloat because Tampa won.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do a game, so then we're in real trouble.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think the Panthers need this more. I think the home crowd is going to actually show up for this game, I believe. And I think the Panthers are going to come out and fight, and I think that can be the difference. And, we've talked about, if you look at the battles on the outside, receivers versus corners on both sides of the ball, the Saints are going to win that. But if you look at the trenches on both sides, Panthers are going to whoop that ass. I'm very confident in that. I think that's what the game is going to come down to more, and that's why I ultimately have us winning.
So you think you don't even need the points. You're winning money line?
Yeah, I got money line.
You want to make that bet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do it.
You just said money line.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 3.5. I'm sorry. I'll take money line.
Do I think, in my honest opinion, do I think this is going to come down to the wire? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I don't really think either team is lopsided. I think J.C. Horn being out is actually a big deal, personally.
Yeah, I was afraid of that too, but with how much we played zone coverage last week, I don't think it's going to hurt us as bad as it used to, at least. Like, you can go back and watch the Tampa game, but when we were trying to play man, if we lost Jesse Horn, it was over. But with how much we played zone week 1 and how much the defensive line is going to dominate Atlanta at least, I don't think it's going to be as big as an issue as people think. As long as CJ Henderson does not get murdered, which is always a possibility, I think we'll be fine.
So, this quarterback, Bryce Young, this is the NFL. You know what I mean? So if I'm going to put, and again, I'm not a homer and I don't touch my own team. I just don't. But I think Derek Carr with Olave, Thomas, Juwan Johnson, if they do the right stuff with Jamal Williams, like they really need to be, throw Taysom in there. I think we have too much ammo for you guys to guard everybody.
I don't think it's going to come down to that. I don't think this game is going to be a shootout at all. I think it's going to be a low-scoring defensive game. I think the Panthers just. I
do not think it's going to. I do like the under.
Yeah, definitely go under for this game.
Yeah, I definitely like the under. And can we say the same thing about the Jets and Dallas and just take the under and move on? Because that's where I'm at with that game.
Steve, so much potential for turnovers and it can get messy. I don't want to touch it. But back to the other game though. Lauren, I don't think you'll deny the Saints have kind of struggled in Charlotte over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and we did. We lost both games last year. So if it's anything, if anybody's going to want it more.
Well, but we're 0-1. We need this win more, and we're at home with our rookie quarterback. If this lose this one, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I just don't think they have. I don't even know who's their number one. Is Thielen their number one receiver? I'm pretty sure it's Adam Thielen, and that's just not enough for me. Not on the same.
It was a problem last week.
It was a huge problem last week. It was a huge problem, and the new kid, I didn't even get any targets barely, or he dropped. I don't know what happened to him. I drafted him to put him on my bench just in case. It's a huge problem. It's a huge, huge problem.
Here's what I'll say. And first off, yeah, you're absolutely right. The Falcons absolutely locked us down last week. No question about it. But the one thing that we did not have that we will have this week, and, say what you will about him in terms of how good he is, but DJ Chark is back. And I think that will help significantly open up things in the middle and in the intermediate part of the field where DJ Chark can help push those safeties back deep. I'm not saying it's going to be he's not going to have a game breaker.
Yeah, but what's the wager on the bat? What's up, Sticks? Nice to see you, man. But what's the wager on the bat?
What do you want to bet, Lauren?
Oh, it's right. We should let the viewers make the bet, right?
Yeah, I'm game.
Has to be money, right?
Oh, it can be money.
Humiliation.
But I was thinking, huh?
I was thinking humiliation, but what do you?
Oh my! Come on, who can?
Well, something that everyone can enjoy. Not
$100
or whatever.
Yeah, $200 would be pretty. If Lauren had if she had the $200 and just waved it at you,
like right here,
that would be pretty humiliating.
No, you guys know I play poker on Friday nights.
My humiliation.
I don't know. We'll have to discuss it.
You got to wear a Saints hat or something, Mike. I don't know.
Oh, I can't do that.
That would mean more to me than money.
Me wearing a Saints hat would hurt a lot more than seeing you in a Panthers hat. That would. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go. I'll do it. I'll wear.
Okay. Yeah. So I gotta go in 10 minutes. So
yeah,
what other game do you guys want to talk about?
Am I the only one that thinks New England can win this?
Oh no, everyone's saying New England's gonna win.
I don't.
Listen, Miami could listen. Talk about I'm gonna eat my loss on the Chargers. I took Baltimore. That was my best bet. So I like the Chargers just as much. So, Baltimore cashed. Chargers did. There were 7 lead changes in that game. 7. The thing about Miami, their high octane offense, they cannot stop the run at all. They can't.
No.
And-
I think that was schematic. Sorry to cut you off, but I think that was schematic. I think Vic Fangio knew what he was doing. If you go watch where those safeties were playing, they were playing like 20, 25 yards back. But I mean, for me, man, you would think the Patriots will be able to run it on the Dolphins, hypothetically. But weren't we saying that all last year? And when did they ever start running the ball well?
I think that New England gets both their guards back this week, if I'm not mistaken, and that they did not have last week. Now, listen, it's another divisional game. Granted, it's not going to be snowing, it's not raining, it's none of that nonsense that we usually see in, November, December, and all that BS. But I don't know. I personally I don't think you can count New England out at home. I just don't. I think that Miami pulled up the win last week, the upset. They had a great game. Kudos to them. I still think I do not think Justin Herbert is what do you guys call? You guys are saying that is he overvalued or whatever? I don't. I still love that kid. I think he's great, but I think that New England's got Miami's got a hard road this week with New England. I don't think it's going to be easy.
I just think with how much I think the Patriots scheme is very man dependent on defense. They love playing man coverage, and that is the worst thing you can do against the Dolphins.
Against Tyreek Hill. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Philly almost gave that game to New England.
They did, but Philly's out of sync right now. I don't.
Yeah. But I mean, I do think, listen, I want to say one thing. I don't think Mac Jones is as bad as people think.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
I don't know why he turned into some type of whipping boy. I don't know when that happened, but it seems like everyone's just trashing him, and it's they're not even watching the games anymore. Which you would think Patriots are always in 4:00 prime time. You would think, anyways. Yeah, I mean, I want to see this game. I think it's the best game of the week by far.
I think it's going to be a great game. It really is. It's a great primetime game, divisional game. It's got a lot on the, even being week 2, there's a lot riding on this for both of them. Now after what happened with the Jets and Buffalo, so there's a lot that could happen here.
I think the whole Bailey Zappi situation last year is kind of what really started the whole Mac Jones hate club. But if you look at toward the end of last year, Mac Jones really does start to step it up. I don't think he was the reason the Patriots are bad. And even putting Matt Patricia as his offensive coordinator was the worst thing you could do.
Well, yeah, we all said that week 1.
Yeah,
and then they judged him so harsh. When you got Matt Patricia calling plays, it was ridiculous, man.
Yeah, ugly season.
But that's why, I got to just come in here, man. Lauren, fading the Patriots has been very lucrative for us the last 3-4 years. It's just, I think the Matt Patricia thing means more, but obviously this isn't going to have too big an effect. I just feel like he just wants to be around his friends now. When I look at it, he should, when you hire Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, and put it with Mac Jones, it's really wrong, man. And like Michael said, that shit with Bailey Zappi last year was really, really frustrating. And I don't even like Mac Jones that much, but I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was definitely an ego issue. I would have, had the same problem. Same thing with Derek Carr. Derek Carr didn't get traded. He got benched. So.
And not even trying to go back to that game, but I'm excited to watch Carr, man. I felt like he had a sneaky good game. Some of those balls he was throwing to Olave, man, were nice.
He did.
Olave is going to have a big year. Olave is who's going to guard him this week?
Dante Jackson.
Mike?
Dante Jackson.
Who's the,
What?
mm,
You lagged out for a second.
I don't know.
Did you say who?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think Olave is. No, I said I don't think so.
Oh, I just didn't. What Olave do?
I don't think. I don't think.
Tell you what he did. Fumbled. That's what he did. He cost you all the game last year, didn't he? He fumbled in the red zone, and y'all lost by 3.
He was also a rookie last year. This is his second year. Did you see him last week?
I'm not gonna take the rookie excuse.
Yeah, Mike. Honestly, like Mike, like he's a dog, so
No,
you got to be a lot better with him. Like,
Yeah, the second when we played him in Charlotte last year, he kind of messed us up.
he might be a top 10 receiver by the end of this year.
Yeah.
I mean, because the route running's good. He's explosive, likes football.
He is good. I don't think he's gonna torture the Panthers this week. That's all I think.
Okay,
Listen,
because I got to go in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask everyone's opinion about the Ravens-Baltimore game, just so people know what's going on with the line. It seems today, like it was at like 3.5 all week. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then today it's been -3, but like it's -120. So like just go with -3. I got to go Bengals. And they have to play better. And even Lauren, like I think she went with the Bengals next week, but she was like a little bit, I don't know how good it's going to be. Browns can play defense. I'm looking for a huge game out of Burrow, and I got to just say something, Lauren. I don't know if you watched that Baltimore game. That offense was out of sync. And credit to you laying all those points, but I was really, really unimpressed with the Ravens. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of been beating this drum for the last 2.5 years. I don't know if there's a more overrated unit in this league than the Ravens defense. Maybe I'm off base here, but maybe the secondary. Everyone says the secondary is so good. I haven't seen them cover anyone. So I don't know, man. I just think Burrow's going to go off 315, 3 touchdowns. I don't think it's going to be a vintage Cincinnati Bengals performance. And I also think their defensive line is going to be a lot better. So let's see how it goes.
There's too many injuries on Baltimore for me to touch them at all this week. And yes, I did lay the 10 points or 9 or whatever the hell it was last week, just because I know week 1, and I said it last week, they come out like blazing fire and will torch whoever's in their way. Now, CJ Stroud still put up, 215 yards against them?
They had drives, Lauren. I mean, they had drives.
You know? Yeah. So he still did, but I think with all the injuries that came out of this game, and let's be honest, Lamar Jackson put up 4 fantasy points last week. 4.
No, he was atrocious in that game.
Crazy.
4. Every kicker had more points than him.
Honestly, I think this is gonna be an ugly game. I'm not gonna lie. I do not think.
I don't really.
And I'm not.
You know, Cincinnati's always a slow starter. Joe Burrow didn't play 1 snap in the preseason. We know that. He was out with the groin injury. And so last week was really his first hurrah at even playing. It will get better. They will get better every week. I wasn't really impressed with Deshaun Watson. Cincinnati Joe Burrow just laid down and gave them that game. He just did. He laid down. He didn't have any practice. He didn't have anything under his belt. There was no preparation. And that matters in this league. This is the NFL. This isn't college or high school. This is the NFL. So I don't care who you are. You're still an NFL team. But with all the injuries on Baltimore now, like what happens every year, I was at least going to think week 4 or 5. I didn't think week 1. But I can't put anyone in Baltimore.
Ronnie Stanley's not playing, right? The left tackle for the Ravens. Is that official?
That's what I read. And the other kid, the running back's out again for the whole year. I think he's played 4 games his entire career. So, I can't. I think that Cincinnati is going to come in and actually legit show you Cincinnati. Now, I don't know if it's going to be balls on fire like it is at the end of the year, because they'll be there at the end of the year too. But they're going to win. And I'll tell you the same thing. There's times when you take a team as an upset and times that we talked about this last week, that you take a team as a dog. Detroit has got no business being that much of a favorite. Now, I was on Detroit last week.
Right?
Huh?
No.
Got mad by that. I knew you were going to get mad by that.
Did you see? Ben Johnson might tear up that Seattle defense.
Listen, there is.
Fred is warranted.
Hold on a second. I was on Detroit last week. You were on Detroit last week. We knew there was no Kelsey, all of that. I'm the biggest Jared Goff, believer there is. I think he got screwed, whatever. And I think he's doing a great job in Detroit. But they have got no business laying that many points to a Seattle team that has DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. They still got the running back, even the new running back kid. They've got and Geno Smith. Granted, he didn't play his best game, but I'm going to tell you what. They're on their defense over in Detroit. The guy in the Rams, their defensive stud. Oh my God.
Hey, Lauren,
Aaron Donald. There's no Aaron Donald sitting there in the Detroit defense. So I don't know who made that spread, but there's no way I'm laying points with Detroit when they can score but can't stop anybody.
Hey, I got to catch off real quick. I got to get going. Lauren, for our bet, if Panthers win, you wear a Panthers hat. If the Panthers somehow lose, I wear a Saints hat. Is that good?
A hat?
Yeah.
I don't wear hats.
Huh?
For the whole show?
Yeah.
No, it's just.
All right. We'll take a picture and have to post it. How about we have to take a picture and we have to wear it on the show for a minute and post it on Instagram?
No. I'd rather.
Yeah. You'd rather what?
I'd rather shave my head than do that. There is no way in hell I am putting a picture of me in a Saints hat on Instagram.
Oh, that would
wow.
be beautiful.
You'll have to message me later and we'll have to confirm this betting. Because as of right now, there is no confirmation on what the bet is. But I'm all for posting a picture on Insta because the public should see it. But however, I will tell you this. Whoever loses is in trouble. Yeah.
Anyway, so Lauren, you like Seattle, or were you just complaining about the line?
No, I like Seattle. I like Seattle to cover, and I just don't think they have any business laying that many points. That's absolutely absurd for a team that can't stop anything.
And Lauren, here's the thing that was crazy. I don't know if you were following earlier in the week, but open at like 6.5, right?
I was about to check and make sure I had 2023 on my phone and not like 2004. Just to make sure I typed in the right numbers. I'm serious. So I am full on Seattle this week. I'm also before I head out, like I mean, Seattle looked awful last week. We're not going to say they look great, but you're not as bad as your worst game, and you're not as good as your best game. And Detroit, they made a statement. They went into Arrowhead. But you know who else beat Kansas City last year? Indianapolis. Okay? Indy beat Kansas City last year and knocked about 7,000 people out of their survivor that week. It was like week 4. All right? So let's not overreact and think that Seattle's going to win by 10 points. It's just not happening, in my opinion.
Because that game was coaching. I mean, it's just because McVay has their number. Like, I don't mean to make it that simple, but.
And, the Jags at home, the Jags in Kansas City. People are. What's that?
I do like the Seattle one.
I do. I love it. I love Seattle. Seattle's my best play this week. I think they are going to have. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win, and I think they might. I think they actually might. But I'm not saying they're going to win. But I'm saying that they're going to come. I don't even. It was like 6.5, right? Like, yeah. I definitely think they can come within 6.5.
Well, and 4.5 still good value. Because you know how Lions games go.
If you got it at 6.5, which you should have, everybody should have taken off of work and ran to the bank with that. If If you got it that way, great. If not, I'd still think 4.5 still has value. People are talking about Houston. They're kind of a train wreck. I know you love them. I don't know what it is with you and this Houston Texans team.
Too good last week either.
What's that?
Colts weren't too good last week either.
No, they weren't that great, but they stayed in a game with Jacksonville. And Houston kind of hung around a little bit with Baltimore, but I don't know. I don't think that Houston's like a sure thing. People are like, oh, I'm going to use Houston for my survivor pick. Why?
Okay.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So that I can use Houston this week and lose? Like, why would you even do that to yourself?
The injury situation with the Texans is concerning. I don't know.
It's very concerning. And Stingley didn't even do anything last week. He didn't even do anything.
So
he was like deer in headlights. So I think that, Anthony Richardson showed some flashy signs a little bit here and there. I know that Michael Pittman's really their only, I don't know, he was throwing it around, but he really needs to give to it. They really need Jonathan Taylor back. They really do. But I think this game you might as well throw it in.
That was the difference. That was the difference in the game, the 2 fumbles from Deion Jackson.
Yeah, horrible.
Plus there was running games to that whole game, and it just was 3-yard carry when there was a lane. So
yeah, and there's times when you like we said that you take teams when they're favorite, and times that you take them when they're an underdog, and I think Indy's like a 1.5 favorite. I don't even know that I like that, but I like Indy to win. I think they're a little bit better. It's kind of like a battle of these rookies, right? You got Stroud, you got Richardson. It's kind of like a battle of these rookies. I mean, but honestly, look at Houston. Is Nico Collins going to be the guy that if he's double covered, who's left?
Robert Woods. Anyways,
your boy Robert Woods.
Hey, we got Texans Colts talking here. I mean, that's pretty good.
Oh God, your boy Robert Woods.
That's just one word answer because I gotta go. Titans or Chargers?
What's that line now?
Chargers -2.5 on the road.
Chargers need this more. Titans are expected.
I don't. Everyone's out thinking themselves on this game, so
just like the Giants, but just because they they lost 40-0 doesn't mean they're going to lose to Arizona. Let's not get carried away.
Hit the like button, share the video. Thank you for coming on, Lauren. Let's see if Mike actually does the buy. I don't know. He was wavering.
I told him I would do an Insta pick with the Panthers hat on. I mean, I'll throw it out there. He's obviously scared if he doesn't want to do it. But here's the thing: we got another one of these games later on in the year, so this will have to happen twice.
All right, see you, Lauren. Thank you.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you.
So, hit the like button, share the videos. Patreon bets will be up 9:30, 10 o'clock. Maybe earlier. Still got to go through some things. Nice talking to everyone. I hope everyone has a good weekend.